Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Writer's Block Party Podcast. I'm your host, R.C. Cepeda. We are a podcast about creators being creative. We come up with ideas for a movie, TV show, or product, and we get to invite you along for the journey and the process. Welcome to our 20th episode. We are celebrating it with Saro Badalian. He's an actor / amusement park creator. Welcome to another episode of the Writer's Block Party Podcast. I'm your host, R.C. Cepeda. Today we have your co-host, Andy Cadzillo.
Hello!
And our guest, Saro Badalian.
What's up?
Like medallion.
Or rapscallion.
Rapscallion.
Yes. Welcome to the show. How you been?
I've been really well.
It's been a minute since I've seen
you. It has. A couple months.
Yeah, let's keep it that way.
Did you miss me? Let's keep it that way. Oh,
Thank you for coming. It was a pleasure.
RC's got the
really
jokes
appreciate it.
Coming in hot.
Gosh, between offending everybody and puns, it's going to be a fun day.
No, it's good to have you. It's good to have you.
Thank you. Also, because you harassed me for months until I was like, I've never done a pod. Fine, RC, I will do this thing and talk.
Well, we do appreciate you coming on. It'll be a good time.
And today's episode is sponsored by Sunday Scaries. Now, they're vegan as fuck. Vegan AF, as you can see. So Sunday Scaries, they are a remedy that makes anxiety not so scary. CBD-based gummies, they taste great. You feel relaxed, calm. Do anybody have anxiety? Anybody?
Not anymore.
Anybody in the audience? No?
I'm a man in my 30s and I'm single. I have absolutely no anxiety.
Interesting.
But yeah, Sunday Scaries, gummies for anxiety. If you go to sundayscaries.com, use the promo code WBP10 for Writer's Block Party, and 10 for the 10% off. You get 10% off your purchase. So it's kind of cool.
Well, that's worth it already.
Right?
Yes, sundayscaries.com, promo code WBP10. So today, Saro Badalian, we will be coming up with either a movie, a TV show, or a product. So the way it works is you'll choose which platform you want to go with.
Okay.
You'll be presented with 3 different names and titles or jumping off points, and then we kind of create the idea from there.
Are you going to give me the names before? Or...
If you'd like, but...
If you prefer.
All right, RC, twist my fucking arm.
If you want to completely ruin the format of this show that has been so calculated.
I just had some notes. All right.
Movie, TV show, product.
Okay, so first instinct was TV show. However, I'm like, everyone's going to want to do a TV show. So I feel like product. But now, of course, I want to change the rules on like what a product is.
It could be
what's the product? Yeah.
I want to do an amusement park.
I love it.
Okay.
This is fun. This is okay. This is different. This is the first. This is the first of the
He hates me.
No, I don't. Strap in. I used to work at amusement parks.
See?
He's got some.
Okay, this is how it started, though, because this is how my fucking brain works.
Okay.
It's like, I'm like, what do I want to do? Because I want free reign to do what I want to do. Fuck, because I'm an asshole. And then I was like, what can I have free reign over? And then I was like, lands. Like, we can all come up with like 800 lands, but then not only the lands, then there's the fucking restaurants. And then I get to think about not only what weird like popsicle they're going to sell at this fucking restaurant. Then after that, we get to souvenirs and merchandise, because I will buy things any day of the week.
This is why we have Saro today, because of his thought process. This is great.
So is it okay? So give us the titles.
All right,
Let's see what.
Park. We are going to create a music park. Okay. All right. 3 titles. Let's see. Shits and Giggles.
Already hilarious. Inappropriate for the family, but it'll work.
We can spell shit SCHITTS or Z. Shits and Giggles. Oh snap.
Why am I not surprised that that was one of yours?
You've met RC.
Or Bury the Hatchet.
I feel like Bury the Hatchet is going to go down a really scary place.
It's during the Halloween time. It's a Halloween only.
It's a Halloween pop-up amusement park.
It's 2019. I can't talk about anyone's hatchets, and I have nothing to say.
So shits and giggles. Oh snap.
Okay.
Bury the Hatchet.
Now, wait. May I ask something? Does this have to be the title of the park?
No, this is
just this could be something we can integrate
the generator
in.
Of something.
I
Gotcha.
feel like I need
just saying
healthy boundaries.
I'm saying Bury the Hatchet could work as a game within the park. That's all I'm saying. I was just trying to figure out whenever road you go down, I want to know where I could use this title. So
We're going down.
We're all going
We're
down.
family.
It's
if
about
I'm
to get
taking
like
the
that.
ship down, you're fucking going with me.
You're not taking anything down. There's
Not yet.
There's literal no risk. There's no risk to any of this. There are no investors, and there's nobody making this part today.
Not yet.
Today.
I don't really feel like you believe in me, to
I-
be
no,
honest.
see, that's the
like,
thing.
he's like,
I'm actually-
this is never going anywhere. You're not doing anything.
I'm saying that in the sense that the sky's the limit. We can do whatever we want.
All right.
So
Choose.
you tell us which title we're going to kick off
What
with.
do you feel has more potential for your mental capacity?
All right, team effort. You give me one, and then I'll choose.
I like Bury the Hatchet. I feel like we can do something.
I like shits and giggles.
Of course
I
you do.
knew you were gonna fucking say that, you fuck. Those are my two.
Or oh snap.
Eh,
No, no one wants to do a snap RC.
We might be able to use it, but
I believe there's potential for all three.
there is potential.
Two, again, it doesn't need to be the basis of it. It could just be the starting off point.
Let's go bury the hatchet.
Bury the Hatchet!
Bury
Bury
the
the
hatchet. It
hatchet.
is. Okay. Why bury the hatchet?
Started feeling like I wanted to fuck with some people, and I was thinking like of those like weird, Halloween amusement parks they do like at Knott's Terrible Farm. What's it called?
Not Scary,
Scary
Farm.
Not Scary Farm. And then what's the other one? Friday Night
Horror
Lights.
Nights.
Horror Nights. Friday Nights. I don't know.
We'll get there.
Well, someday.
Oh, yeah, the football one.
And I kind of just like want that to be always. I want to,
Yeah.
yeah.
You want an all the time Halloween park.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
actually really, really
I think that's actually a
good.
great
Yeah,
idea.
called Bury the Hatchet.
Because I've been wanting to make the horror nights, but I just haven't made it in the past 2 years I've been living here. And it's like, I have to wait for Halloween, damn it.
I actually finally went. First time in the 10 years I've been here. I finally went. My girlfriend and I went out there, and we spent most of the time in lines. And I would say that it was fun, but it got a little redundant over some time. But I feel like if we think about that situation and try to figure out a creative way to get out and find a way that people are constantly doing something, which is why an all year version of this is helpful, because now you have no excuse that there shouldn't be lines all the time.
Or what if when you're waiting in line, that's where shit is happening?
That's the
So
and that's the
you're
clever
waiting
thing
in
about
line,
it. One
that's
thing about
something cool.
yeah,
You're
one thing about
interacting.
Horror Nights is
That's
that
the best idea you've ever had.
well, there's
Thank you,
one thing that
guys.
happens at Horror Nights that I thought was pretty interesting. Is they know the lines are bad, so one of the other ways they generate revenue is by putting
They sell
refreshments and gift shops, literally pop-ups, in the line. So you're halfway through, and you're halfway through, and you're going, I'm going to be here a while. They're
And
like,
I'm
hey,
going to eat a pretzel.
I need a soda, I need a hot dog, I need something. And they're like, hey, we're selling all that here. And I'm like, yeah.
Might as well. I don't
I
want to
think
get out of
I'm
line.
the person that's catered to, because I'm literally like in line for 20 minutes and I'm like, I need a hot dog, mozzarella sticks. Do you have marinara sauce,
Yeah.
ranch dressing, fries, a water, a coffee? Can I have an Aperol spritz? And
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
a cocktail.
But it's true
Like,
because you get to a point because you're like,
so
I'm parched. I'm never gonna make it to the end of this.
I'm
line.
never gonna live
I'm
through
gonna
this
die.
2-hour line.
Yeah, yeah.
Why
I'm
did
with
I
you.
agree to come to Anaheim?
What if?
Can I say that?
What if? Like, you know how they used to do flash mobs? Remember that when that was a
Yeah,
thing?
yeah, that's the thing.
What if we plant in certain lines? We plant like something scary to happen. So like the person in front of you don't know, you think is waiting in line. Then they just all of a sudden some guy like comes and stabs them or some shit like that.
Yes.
And then or they fake
Okay,
a
well,
heart
that's-
attack. There's like
There's a gruesome murder happening in this line.
And then they on the floor. They're like, gotcha.
Can I just
I
really
mean,
quickly talk about flash mobs for 1 second and just tell you how many of you got like one of your friends got engaged by a flash mob and then like 6 months later the other one did and you had to like, oh my god, that is so original that your fiance did that for you.
There was a flash mob epidemic going on for a while where I think everybody was doing flash mobs or trying to get, and I was getting a lot of invite. Hey, we're doing a flash mob. Everybody wants to participate, and I'm like, unsubscribe. I'm like, I absolutely do not want to take part of your flash.
It's like
no
when
thank
they-
you, no thank you.
Yeah.
Like when they do those challenges, what it was that
Yeah.
viral in the sense. Kind
And
of
don't get me wrong, it was fun to watch
bu-
like a
ice
video
bucket,
of it
ice
happening.
box.
I just didn't want to be a part of it. I want nothing to do with that.
Okay, so how do you feel about that though?
It's not a bad idea. That's not a
Because I do
terrible
love
idea.
how you said that. Like, yes, whenever I think of like, oh, I'm gonna go to Disney or go to here, like, oh, fuck the lines, shit.
Yeah.
Like, so I think that would be great for ticket sales. Like, hey, yeah, you go to this thing when you're waiting in line, man. They got this fucking.
So,
blah.
let me ask you, is it a theme park? Like, because if it's a theme park, then we could pick something besides Halloween and horror. If the theme is Halloween,
Just horror.
great. It's horror.
I think just horror.
I think horror.
Just scary.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then what's great about that is we're not pigeonholing just horror, like Halloween stuff. We're opening it up to anything that's considered horror. I went to a really great pop culture museum in Seattle, and they have a whole section that was just called like horror, and it was about horror movies, TV, just the evolution of scary stuff, and it was really fun because you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. You could see like the poltergeist stuff, like props from movies, and that's something that we could utilize throughout the park. The only downside is you have to figure out a way to either get the approval or the licensing, which is irrelevant at this point in time. But I think if we can figure out what we want to designate as horror and what that includes, that'll help us figure out what are people eating, what rides are in this thing. Are there roller coasters? What kind of roller coasters? Do we create a whole new roller coaster? What's the draw besides horror? Because we also have to make it, I don't want to say family friendly, but to some extent we're teetering on people. We're alienating a lot of people who are like, I don't agree with anything that's happening here.
I see that. I like that. What if we...
I think yes,
escape
and
hotel
yes,
style.
and
Yes, and,
love
yeah.
and. I want to teeter a little bit.
Okay, that's great.
I think that this is like a cutting edge.
It's teeter worthy.
I think we can have a land exist. Maybe it's called Halloween Land, where it's like little trick or treating and like very in the vein of like what was that movie, Nightmare Before Christmas, like that kind of situation for kids where it's just like teetering on the brink. But then I really want to take it to some places. I feel like we can.
There could be the adult.
Yeah, there's an
17
adult
and up,
section,
18 plus
17 and up area. That's where they sell
That's the really
the
hardcore
booze while you're in
yeah.
line.
17 and up is where they saw the booze.
Listen, I've lived a life, okay?
There's a 15 and up
Judge
section.
Judy over here.
I'm not judging.
Is my time up?
No, I don't mean in a bad way. I just mean like I just want to make sure I heard that right.
Sorry, I had a drink when I was 19. Fucking
Hey, I didn't start
hanging
drinking
from the rooftops over here.
Legally.
This guy.
Legally, you can't sell to 17, but I get it. But that's right. Something about that, having a 17 and up section,
Yes.
which is, I would say, the rated R section of the park,
Yes.
which I like because most amusement parks, what they have is a kids section. And what if we make it safe-ish? So it's maybe more Halloween, so it's more family friendly and just a lot of jump scares and pop-ups. And
But then there's just like little.
and then you go down
sidewalk
a
that
dark
you go
tunnel or something.
And we could literally have a dark
Literally
tunnel.
have a
Here's
dark
the point. Hold on. Here's the thing. Every 6 months, you change the entrance to the 17 and under
I like
part.
it.
So people have to find it.
Oh, I like it. And you have
Almost
to get a
like
map
the
and you have
escape
to like
hotels.
search for it.
So we're like, you
And the
have to,
map
like, find
costs
the
money
key.
because I'm Armenian and I want to make a buck.
That's
I like
actually
that. I
really
like
that's
that.
a really fun idea.
Okay, so what can we? Let's go. Let's dig deep into that, right?
You want to start with the 17 and older
Yeah,
section.
like
Okay.
that's the fun
I'm
part.
not surprised.
Yeah.
either.
So we give them all shots, right? Because they're
Upon entry?
Yeah.
Okay.
They come in every 17 and up. They get a shot of whiskey and a gun with one bullet. We just see what happens.
Hey man, it gets better.
Hey, use this safely.
here.
This is America.
You might
We
need
have
some of
very
these.
lenient gun rules. No.
It's true.
Yeah. No, we can't do that. But I think that's the fun part about it is this is great. We switch the entrance, so the entrance to 17 and up, you have to be smart enough to know where it's at, which everybody's going to want to play that game. And that's the other thing is that we have to make what is happening in this section. Is this like bloody? Is it gory? Is it more haunted house type stuff? Or is the whole section like a haunted house? So everything is fair game. So people can jump at you at any point in time that work there, which is awesome. Because as an employee, as a scare master that's in the
Is this
zone.
something you've done in your life?
Yes. As somebody
I thought there was like some personal experience.
is doing this, but what's fun about it is, to me, I always thought we weren't doing enough, and we had to be really calculated on the sections. But if the whole park or the whole section is a wide open zone, we could have endless fun. Plus, you throw in a couple of rides, and they could be generic rides. You just decorate them.
I think free reign for sure. Is we just throw it all out there. I think having many different aspects. Again, like whether it's waiting in line or you're buying a souvenir, all that, just fucking throw it at them, right? And I do like how you mentioned about that pop culture in Seattle is we have that, but with a horror, right? So like I love like Psycho.
Like Psycho.
Like, so
yeah.
go back from the thresholds of old school horror to Lovecraft kind of stuff. Like even if people don't get it, like but still it's scary in that sense. But we're having it all rather than just like how Hollywood Horror Nights or whatever they have at Universal just has the mainstream, like Stranger Things, all that stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to get away from that and go into like the deep-rooted horror. Does that make sense?
I'm with you on that. Well,
which I think is, when you're doing that, it's all about building the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that 9 times out of 10 what is scariest about, at least for me, a horror movie, is the build-up to actually what it is. Like,
Suspense.
Yeah, the suspense. Like, I remember walking my dog as a kid. Like, we lived, like, in the hills. And I would just pretend that I was in a horror movie.
Mm.
But I was, like, literally running with the dog. And I was like, oh, yeah! I, like, and, like, for, like, an hour, just, like, pretend I was, like, in this movie. Because ultimately, what you're always running from is what is going to be scarier than what you actually see.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that sense of, if it's an all-encompassing 17 and up land, where everyone's already drunk and like on or whatever, no judgment, you're like running through this land and people are hiding in trash cans with like little holes and they're just like grabbing your hand. Like, that shit is real.
Well, if that's the only fear we have, there is touching people is always a slippery slope, because I've been involved with things where it's an immersive, like, let's say, theater experience where you tell them flat out, this group of people, somebody could touch you, somebody could do this, just FYI, because we don't want people to fight back. Because I've been in situations where we are very clear we're not going to touch you, and you scare somebody and you do your job well, they're absolutely wanting to fight you, which is dumb because they look like a jackass anyway because you just scared the shit out of them.
It's all the reactory.
It
It's
is.
the reactive, how they're reacting. So you can't really blame the person. Like, if you fucking
No,
jump,
of
like,
course.
oh fuck, you know, I'm from New York. Shit, you don't
But
fucking
we also
keep
have
your
to
hands up
keep-
like that. Shit.
Really good New York accent.
Yeah.
Have you heard my Edward James
He's like,
Olmos?
Yeah.
Have you not heard my Edward James Olmos? Please.
Have you heard the almost? It's not great.
Marcy's
about
like,
it.
I'm from New York and I want to fight you,
New York City?
Harriet. Like,
Wow.
interesting, RC.
Wow.
But you know, but yes, I totally get with what you're
Yeah.
at. Or we could also have it to where, keep it that cool to where, like, no, if every ticket holder, purchase holder, ticket whatever holder they know what they're signing up for. Like, this is not that kind of amusement park that you're used to. Like, shit gets fucking weird. Shit gets scary. Deal with it.
Here's
You know what I'm
something.
saying?
Here's something that keeps popping in my head. Whatever the 17 and older section is, it's always nighttime. So I think it's
100%.
indoors.
So you can go to
I think it's.
Yeah.
I was just
built
gonna
in.
say it's like a movie set.
It's like
literally
almost like
what
you
was in my brain.
utilize like a backlot studio.
Yes.
I like
That's
that.
just a
Yes,
huge
and yes.
warehouse essentially. And when you walk in, so here's the thing: even though the entrance always changes, the tunnel to get there and the route, the maze essentially to get you there is a little different every year. I think it always leads to the same area, and I think in that area it's always night. So if you could be there at 10 a.m. and you could get your scare on like right off the bat.
Kind of like the Las Vegas casinos where you're always in
You don't know what time it is? It's been 5 days.
And you're like, yes, it's 10 a.m., but I feel like I'm indoors. I want 10 shots, 2
yeah,
casinos.
yeah,
and a
it's
hamburger.
dark enough in here to start drinking.
100%.
Where we're going to make some more money, we'll be selling shit.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. But the other thing is now you're incorporating drinking. You're incorporating people getting jumped at and scared, possibly touched. It's nighttime always. People's inhibitions are going to be a little bit looser. They're also going to be on higher alert. So they're going to be prepared for something. So we do have to, I think, beef security up. So I think no matter what, security's top notch. I think what I like about this is actually going to hire a ton of staff. I think most of what we do is staffing, because one of the things that drives me nuts is animatronic scares.
Oh, yeah.
I am so sick and tired of a robot popping out at me, because I'm like, that doesn't scare anybody. You know what makes the fun for me is when my girlfriend is grabbing onto my back for dear life. We're walking through a maze, and I know somebody's going to pop out and scare me somewhere. I make sure that she is in full splash zone for that, so that when we're turning a corner, I'm not going to be scared because I know where they are. She's going to lose her mind in about 5 seconds, because that's the fun for people who... haunted houses don't do it for me
You're
anymore.
so mean.
That's not mean. That's the way to do it. You walk
I
around and whisper their name.
I was going to say, like, and then my girl's there, and I'm the
Protect her.
man, and I'm protecting her, and I'm in front of
I'm
her,
protect-
and he's like, and then I'm turning her around right in front of the bar where she's
Don't stab
gonna
me.
I'm not
Stop
leaving
her.
her alone at a frat party at Duke.
Ah!
I'm taking her to a haunted house that she's supposed to be scared at. And I know the fun for me is I will occasionally pop back because they'll just jump out and get you. But the fun of it is knowing that if you whisper somebody's name a little bit and you hope that the people working there hear it, they're going to be like, Sam. Her name is Sam. They'll be, Sam, we're coming for it. And that's awesome. That experience is great. And we can use a lot of technology to
I was just going to
integrate
say that. Yeah, there's technology where you can walk into a bar and it'll like beep on your phone. Hey, welcome. Like it'll pull your social profile. I love that. I love that.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
but the data's already there.
Yeah.
So a fully immersive, plus we're pulling data. And if people who come into the park and sign up for, let's say, the service that allows it to be fully immersive, allows us to pull data, now we just supplemented a whole separate amount of income because now we're selling data, which is what everybody else is doing.
Here's the thing. There should be a part of, or could be a part of the world where you go in and it literally pulls like you answer like 5 questions before you enter the 17 under or 17 under 17 up, and it's like, what's your greatest fear?
Yeah.
What's your what are these things? And there's a specific room you go into,
It's
which
catered
maybe
to
you
your,
have to pay extra
to your frights.
which you also have to find the entrance to, which once you do, it's your greatest fear realized.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, like is it clowns? Is it
Yeah.
this? Is it spiders?
So it's a customizable fear experience.
Oh my God.
So we have a fear chamber of
Yeah.
some kind where you like sign up for it and you go in there and it's like maybe like it's like a birthday thing. Like for my birthday, I'm gonna get the shit scared out of me. My friends hate me and love me because what a fun way to do it. Can I tell you something? So I won't say who or what or anything like that, but in life, I've had a conversation with people who used to work for government programs. And in these government programs, they were creating virtual reality technology to help combat PTSD. Now, part of this was that it was so realistic that what they were doing is that psychologically recreating the moment your PTSD was established. The scene, the moment that whatever has traumatized you, they're creating it to a T exactly the way you describe it. And they're making you live it.
That's
over
fucked up.
and over and over again until you're so numb to it, you no longer have PTSD. Now, this is something that, like, I'm sure has never been in practice very much, but that was the idea behind it. And I thought to myself, that's awesome. I mean, really fucked up for somebody who's got PTSD and shit.
But for the fact that they can do
But the
that.
fact that, why aren't we utilizing more virtual reality is huge right now. You know, how much are those headsets? I mean, you go to a movie now, they just give you 3D glasses. What's wrong with giving people a rentable virtual reality headset? You don't even need to do anything in the room. It's an empty room.
If we charge...
the whole...
No, that's what I'm saying.
Or just the fear chamber.
The fear chamber might just be a
Yes.
virtual
Fear
reality.
chamber.
We just put a chair in a room, and they just put this... it almost looks so sinister and
my
weird.
God.
And so you've already got the anticipation built up, and then you sit in the chair and you put the virtual reality headset on, and then you're just like, goodbye.
And then we have people... Like, we could have, like, 5 staff members, like, you're gonna die.
We can have people. We can hire
Whispering in your
people who
ear.
are in the room, giving you that
Yes.
live action aspect. But while you're there, you're envisioning
So that's
the
total,
worst
Which is
possible
easy
things.
to program
Yeah.
and get
Dude,
and
total
cost
immersive
effective
experience.
and
Who
yeah.
wouldn't want to do that?
That's-
And again,
that's-
we have waiver after waiver because you've heard about those haunted houses that make you like sign a waiver. And you
Yeah.
go, there was one called like Pitch Black or something like that. I don't remember. New York and LA were the only places that really had it. And every year the whole house changes. It takes you about an hour to go through, and it's 100% immersive, and you can only go in by yourself.
Ooh.
So you literally sign all these waivers. You also sign an NDA because you can't tell people what the maze is, or they'll sue you for ruining the fun for everybody else. But you're by yourself, and you get like a flashlight on a lanyard, and that's pretty much it. And then they send you in, and somebody grabs you and like touches you, or drags you through the house.
Yes.
Like at one year, they had somebody digging through a toilet to find a key, and yet the key had to go to a lock that was like in somebody's like junk. I don't remember what the
It's like
situation
Fear
was.
Factor.
It was
with,
like a fear factor
yeah.
versus like scary. It was all pitch black except for certain rooms, and it's all like set up like kind of like choose your own adventure. But really, they're dragging you through each room purposely to experience it, and it could take anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour to 2 hours.
And they're dragging you.
And they're dragging you
Okay.
basically through it because they're controlling it. But if you don't complete the task fast enough, then all of a sudden, like you're there forever.
It's almost like I forget which movie it is, but like where people would sign up to get a fantasy fulfilled, right? So like some people have that fantasy of like I want to get kidnapped.
Yeah.
I want to go through that experience.
I want to
right?
be in Saw.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
That people would fucking pay for that shit.
People would pay for that.
Dude, I think we're onto something. But right, this is the moment where we're gonna put a pin in that because would love to learn more about you, Saro.
Thank you so much, Ursi.
And that's enough. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That's
Well, we've
that
learned.
was good. And
We've learned a lot about Saro.
We've learned that he wants to scare people, and
He believes underage drinking is okay.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I do.
No, tell us about
Here's the thing about underage drinking. Just segue. Being first generation Armenian there, that's something about me. Growing up with my family in LA, when we were at dinner, like, it was never a thing. So they'd be like, Saro, do you want to try this wine? And I'd like try the wine, and like it never became a thing for me. I never needed to do 800 drinks while blowing 2 hookers or whatever you people do. Like, I just like never needed to do.
I haven't done that yet, but I will.
Sounds awesome.
Sounds like a good weekend.
Sign me up for
Sounds
that.
like yesterday. No,
Grew up in the wrong house.
honestly, like that, when you
Armenian.
normalize that stuff, it just doesn't become
Yeah, a thing.
a thing.
Well, it's like I live with some roommates who were I forgot where they were raised, but Norway. And yeah, like when they came,
that's not where I was.
Not expect that either.
And no, when they came to the
Norway.
U.S., they were
Sweden.
like, I was drinking since I was like 14, like 12. Like, it wasn't a thing where in the U.S., like, it's a build-up, right? Like, I'm 21 now, I can drink, or for those that live that way. And that's something they get crazy, and that's how all this shit happens. So anyway, Saro, Armenian.
Here's what we know. Maybe Saro.
I know.
Very Armenian.
Very Armenian.
Moving on.
Grew up here, moved to New York when I was 17. Went to college for musical theater.
Excellent.
Thank you
What's
so
your
much.
favorite musical you've been a part of?
Oof, that's tough.
What's the better question? If you could play any part right now, what's the part you're like, I would play that part right now?
I would play.
What's the dream?
It's gonna get really dorky.
No, that's okay. Get dorky. That's
There's a
fine.
musical called Parade. It's based on
Parade.
Just
I
go
love
with
it.
me.
I know Parade, but that's hilarious.
It's about Leo Frank, who is a historical figure. Who he was in Atlanta in a pencil factory. He got wrongly accused of a murder. It gets really dark. He dies. It's a whole thing. But it's a beautiful story, and that's what I would play.
That's awesome.
For sure.
That's cool.
Very cool. That I would never in my life guess that.
Do they?
What would you have guessed?
No, well, most people would go with like the big higher end,
Like
musicals,
Hamilton?
more
Well,
recent.
that's
ones and
why
stuff.
I left doing musical theater and moved back to LA to do TV and film, is because I started realizing that the kind of art or immersive experiences or things that I really connect to are subtler, more dialed in, and the kinds of musicals and plays that I was really attracted to were honestly a little more cinematic, a little more subtle, a little more about talking, listening, and connection. And so it started shifting for me. And then once I did that, and also my mom was like, "When are you coming home?" And then it was from there. I was like, "Fine."
Did you ever watch? Have you ever seen Assassins?
Oh, I love it.
Assassins is great,
So
and it's
good.
kind of a weird musical about literally assassins.
It's an assassin musical?
That's cool. But it's about like what's his name? I was gonna say Robert E. Lee.
No, it's
John
Lee
Wilkes
Harvey
Booth.
Oswald, right?
Yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald, John Wilkes Booth.
that's
Famous
cool.
assassin.
Squeaky Fromm.
That's cool.
Who else? I don't know, Peeps.
And Sweeney Todd.
Well, but it's by Sondheim. It's the same guy who did Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, it's
still a
See,
Sondheim.
there's
It's
there's a reason why I said that.
Well, actually, one of my favorite. The other one would be "Merrily We Roll Along."
Oh, that's like me saying my favorite part would be Music Man. I hate the Music Man. No offense to anybody who loves the Music Man. I've seen it done so many times growing up that I just like I refuse to do Music Man in my life. I don't.
So you don't like fun?
I hate fun. No, see, but that's the thing.
You got a fun hater over here.
I love Guys and Dolls. That's one of my favorite musicals. I love Big River. It's a musical that the parts I want to play, I can never play because I'm white, and that sucks. Because the best parts are the parts that are clearly not for me.
That's like when I sit in my car and sing all of the like big Broadway
Yeah.
diva songs, and I'm like, someday when I play Evita, that's gonna go well for
like
me.
I always wanted to be Tom Collins from Rent. I can't be Tom Collins from Rent. I mean, I guess I could. That's
Well, with
not-
that attitude, you can't.
No, you're right. You're
RC's
absolutely right.
advocating. If you just believe, it'll happen.
If you believe in yourself, you can do anything, Andrew.
That's a good point, RC.
That's
Thank
one
you.
of those. fun
So,
things
okay,
I
so
So,
LA,
yeah.
tell us about your LA times here. As far as you said, that's when you changed into the acting and all that. Anything that you've done that we can see?
Yeah, so I
anything
decided I didn't want to tap anymore and sing forever. So I'm making $400 a week in Arkansas. So
Regional theater.
It's Arkansas, but okay.
No, it's
No,
not.
I'm pretty sure I was right the first time, but thanks, RC. Yeah, just I started teaching with Shannon, who was another guest you have, and we met at the same acting studio. So just doing that and auditioning and, film shorts and just getting shit done.
You have anything coming
You
up?
film shorts? Like, different types
Oh
of
my
shorts.
God! Stop. You're the worst.
Are you okay?
It's early.
Your mom?
We had $1 every time.
It's
we
early.
did it.
What is it, like 11?
Yeah.
30?
I had 4 hours of sleep, bro.
We're gonna have
That's
to
why
have an
you're
intervention.
hilarious this morning.
It's like when we used to work together at 3 a.m. We'd still be in the office and cashing him out, and like he just has. It's called the 3 a.m. Sorrow. It's just a ridiculous, hilarious.
Like saying the most ridiculous things and doing like entire scenes from Bridesmaids in the in the office. I'd be like, like in the plane.
I'm like, I know I'm tired, man. Let's do this. Let's go home.
You'd be like, oh, you are. You're so tired, RC. You want to go home.
So, do you have anything coming up that we should be keeping our eyes open for?
Yeah, any minute.
Okay.
Fame is on the brink now.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, like, do you have anything that you're in that's coming up that we should be?
No,
promoting?
nothing crazy. I mean, I filmed a short a couple weeks ago that I think
Awesome.
is going to do the festival circuit, but
Great.
I think it's like what's
your part in this?
I'm a bad guy with a beanie.
Ooh,
Yeah, I have
bad guy with a beanie.
four big lines.
Hey,
So-
you got 4 lines,
Yeah.
which is more than, I mean, I think I did a part where I was a guy in a movie theater, and I was just this. And that was it. I was
Didn't
like,
ask for-
wait, what? Nailed it.
The way that you just played that,
Did it blow you away?
you are the next Meryl Streep.
Yeah. Now, honestly, I embodied that so well. I was like, be a guy at the movies? I've done that. I think I can pull
can
from
do
real life
this.
experiences. That was it. Nailed it. Did you guys see it? Well, that's awesome. Very cool.
Nailed
Good for
it.
you. That's good. And you've been out now. How long have you been pursuing the acting thing out here so far?
I've been back, I think, like 5 years.
Awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. It's a hustle.
Well, on behalf of all of LA, we're happy to have you.
Yeah, we're so happy.
RC, thank you so much.
RC, who speaks for all of Los
Yeah.
Angeles.
Los Angeles over here likes me
As the
a lot.
newfound mayor of LA.
Oh boy.
No, here's the thing. Honestly, about the business is you do it every day, and if you wake up every day, I'm like, this is still fun for me. Then I'm gonna fucking do it forever.
Why not?
And like, what I've realized is like there is no, and there's I've done big things, I've done little things, and it's all just like fun. And the business side of it and the hustle of it can get really tiring, but like the creative side of it and meeting people who are about having fun and joy and creating art and doing things that like fill you, like that is priceless. Like I literally was on set yesterday from 6 a.m. until 5 and then went and worked until 2 a.m. and it was the best day ever because it was like from 6 a.m. to 5 I did what I loved and got paid for it, and like it was the best.
That's
It's
awesome.
just that's what it's about.
That was
That's
the
the
moment
dream.
right there. That's like the more you know.
Yeah.
Can we get the star?
The more
and the
you know,
sun?
but we're doing a horror thing. So
Then we just got
Speaking
awesome.
of horror, okay, let's jump back into that. I
All
love
right.
that. All right. This immersive experience, I think, honestly, is really fucking great. I live right here next to the Escape Hotel, right there. To the
Oh yeah,
left.
the Escape Hotel. Yeah.
And they have. I mean, I've never done it actually. Have you
I
ever
have
done
no
it?
idea.
no, what is that?
It's
Is
like
it
an escape
you're-
room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're in the rooms and like you have a key and all these little clues and shit like that, which is cool.
That's cool.
I think especially like when you come in, every ticket holder, we give them like a cryptic kind of like map or message or something like that. Like even if it's a Rubik's Cube or something, I don't know where it is.
Oh, Rubik's
But like they have to find the key, and then once they get in, we can have the experience start. I think that'd be something kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Actually, the idea of an escape room, which is also a pretty great idea. The reason they're popping up is they're so cheap right now. I'm not saying it's cheap for the property or to rent the location, but honestly, it's literally like Escape Hotel. I've never been in that one, but it's safe to
Same
assume
idea.
it's designed like a hotel.
Yeah.
Each room is a theme room,
Yeah.
and all they do is they can literally redesign the storyline of it and the way out their own way. It's all their own control. And what's great about these type of attractions is that people pay a lot of money to go to escape rooms. Now, if we can incorporate that in an amusement park, that also allows groups of people to go and do escape rooms. We could have a whole section dedicated to escape rooms. Or what's great is they could be peppered in around the whole park. And the fun of it is maybe you incorporate the secret location of all the rooms. And that could be the fun of it, is that you're
That's
totally
the end goal,
involved
that's
as
what
soon
they're
as you get in.
Yeah.
And you're like, there are 10 escape rooms. One is a mystery. if you could find the one mystery one, there's a special prize at the end. And you give them some stupid tchotchke at the end.
And what if the way that you deal with the lines at the amusement park is that people are going through escape rooms to ride the rides?
So you can't ride the ride unless you get through the scale.
So
Yeah.
there's no fast pass.
Because there's
like,
no
hey,
fast
smarter,
pass, and so the way that you're actually
you could stand in
curbing
line.
is that you're sending
That's
people
really cool.
into and because they're so cheap, they could literally be the size of that closet. So everyone goes into an escape room and is working on a task to get to the roller
So
coaster.
basically, what you're telling me, and this is kind of brilliant, is that you either have a line, so you can either wait to 20 minutes to an hour to get through to this awesome ride, which we'll get into in a minute, whatever that is, or you could try your luck at the Fast Pass, which is an escape room for 1 or 2 people at most, and we've designed it and we've changed it every time. But if they can get through that, which in the reality, if it takes them long, they're still waiting in line.
Exactly.
Which is kind of brilliant. You're just subsidizing the line wait with something else to occupy their mentality.
Exactly.
And you don't think like, I've been waiting in line. You're like, I've been having fun literally since
Figuring
I got
something
in.
out.
That's cool.
genius.
Because then at the end, you give them like an option at the end. If you don't pass the escape room, you put it back at the end of the line. And so the risk reward
I don't
is
know.
high.
I feel like I'm the one who would always go back to the end of the line. I go into escape rooms. I'm
Like,
like,
God
I
damn
hate
it.
this.
Guess
Like the key goes to where I don't care it goes.
But what's
and-
really cool is that there are 2 doors. And if you do the escape room correctly, the one door opens up and it literally puts you
Into
right
the
at
ride?
right on the
Oh,
ride.
shit. Yeah.
So if you're
Okay.
smart enough to get through, you're guaranteed a spot on the next boat, and it has a ticker like that tells you you've got 2 minutes to get out of here. Because if you
Oof.
get out of here within 2 minutes, that's when the next ride's
that
coming up.
ticker alone is scary because having to
It's
be
good.
timed for anything is like,
the
my
worst.
God.
And you just watch, and it's big, and it's just going click, 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 which is just going to drive
It gets
people
louder
nuts.
and louder.
Oh, I love that.
Rides. What kind of rides?
Roller coasters are awesome.
Awesome.
Indoor roller coasters are even better. Like, what's everybody's favorite ride is Space Mountain. There's also like VR. We can incorporate the VR, which means we can condense this park to a much smaller park by giving people just VR. Like,
Yeah,
just
I mean, you could literally do it on the size of like a couple, like a studio lot, like the couple backdrops,
Mhm.
like we're talking
Oh, yeah.
about. Like, and I really like the VR experience.
Mhm.
I think definitely with people's greatest fear.
Yeah.
I think, and that's an upcharge, by the way. Not to talk
to
financials,
customize
but like
it?
to
Fuck yeah.
customize.
Oh no,
like,
no! I think
that's
I think
the-
that has to be booked at least a week or 2 in
Yeah.
advance, so we can.
We need to do our research and we gotta,
Mhm.
But people will fucking pay.
Fill out. There's a whole questionnaire, and we will figure out a way to incorporate your deepest, darkest fear into one VR experience. And why?
And
I mean,
pull
you're really going to
pictures from
screw some
people's
people
like
up.
Facebook,
Yeah.
like they make it feel like you're like in their world and like starts out and they're like super like happy, like
Yeah.
seeing pictures from their childhood, and then it's like they're gonna
Demons
fucking-
of-
yeah.
Has anybody seen the movie The Game?
Yeah, well, that was,
No.
that, that was
Oh,
a that was
I've
my
heard
man,
fuck.
that's
Yeah.
a great
good.
movie.
Yeah.
It's Sean Penn and Michael Douglas. And the whole concept is that Michael Douglas is like kind of a uptight rich guy, and Sean Penn's like his eccentric brother, and he's like always trying to get him to like invest in shit. And eventually he like says, "Hey, I have this something fun for your birthday." And he's like, "If you want to do it, whatever." But it's immediately already started, and it's a fully involved thriller mystery thing that's literally life size, and he doesn't know it. Not spoiler alert. That's the game. I should have said that
Are
up
we
front.
playing the game right now?
But that's the thing. The idea is that we could be sitting here and somebody walk through the door and shoot RC. Hilarious. But if
course
somebody
you
did that,
picked RC.
he would die.
Second guess.
But he would die, and the idea is you don't realize that you're in a game right now. So you're like, what the hell is going on? And then somebody comes in and says, I'm going to kill you. And then you run away. And now everything you've done you think is a choice you're making, but all the choices you make are really designed for this whole game. Well, imagine like a virtual reality experience, or even more so, a separate VIP experience in the park where shit's happening to you because you've said, I want to be part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the game is a fully involved life-size event while you're in the park. So we're literally tailoring your park experience, but we also have people following you. We have people hiding in the shadows. We have people grabbing you and kidnapping you and putting you in an escape room. Like, we control your whole day.
So maybe the VIP experience, to piggyback, the escape rooms that you go into that are leading you into rides,
Mhm.
a couple of those are then customized on
Yeah.
a wristband, and it activates a VR escape room for you, which is customized to your
Customized
specific
to
This
fear
your-
and
is
your life.
genius.
I love this. This is great. I want this park to be built because there's a lot
Why
of
isn't
great
this
things.
a real thing?
It's
We
because
need to make
it really
this.
is like it's really pretty much a mixture of both. Like, you know, they've got those video game bars now, essentially. It's kind of taking that idea and putting it on a much larger scale, because you could still have a Midway that has games. You could still have the general amusement park fare. And I think it should be two types of parks. It's
we should have both.
Adult or fuck the family aspect.
I mean, to be honest, I just wanted to do
maybe the whole thing is
it's just adult.
Yeah.
And then so as far as rides go, we've got we have different types of rides.
We know which kind, the VR, the roller coaster
roller coaster stuff, but I do think we have to have a badass roller coaster attraction. Space Mountain is one of my favorite roller coasters.
Same.
And it's even the Mummy ride at Universal. Really fun. It's fun. It's because it's just a basic ride where you're just on a car. It's indoors. It's back and forth. It's fast, but it only lasts like 5 minutes or less the whole ride. It's not long, but it's fully involved and it's fully exciting. I think if we could find a way to do that, there's a lot of opportunity where it's like, now we've embedded this roller coaster, which is really only a track this big. We could get, I don't know, what's another thing people like? Ferris wheels? People into that? People like...
I think piggybacking on Space Mountain, RC, I feel like a roller coaster in the dark is always going to
always fun.
Yes. But I want to take Space Mountain and just fuck it up. Let's crush it up a little bit. I'm like,
again,
especially now because they're doing the Star Wars Space Mountain. I'm like, okay, this is Space Mountain with different music. Yeah. You know what I mean?
With Star Wars music and lightsabers.
Yeah, that's going to be for sure, because again, I think we're set on what we've created so far, especially stamping it with adult. Not fuck the kids, fuck the family part. It's going to be adult driven, 17 and up, 18 and up, and then I think we're set.
I think there can even be, we can go to the level of historical scary things, like maybe somebody getting executed, maybe
So are we talking through the times?
Maybe.
Like a horror thing?
Maybe a whole section that's historical horror.
Fear has changed from day one.
Fear has changed. Sure. We don't, and that's the thing, some people like me, I don't get scared easy. You know what scares me? Real life scary stuff. Like the movie, The Strangers. That movie, fucks me up with that movie. I don't know what it is. I know it's not real, but that shit happens.
Or The Hills Have Eyes was
home invasion stuff.
That's pretty good.
Just
which
really
is why you see
it's
been a growing trend, because that's where fear is at now. People are like, oh shit, okay, fine.
Yeah,
it's no
longer.
longer.
I don't want to see the big monster that's
we're good. No, I want a guy with a knife, like the Purge movies, which I think are dumb, but the concept behind the Purge movie,
vague mask, which is just undescript, it's just still scary, blurry eyes. I love that.
Okay, so what's another ride? Is another ride what else could we consider a ride? Maybe one that's like a car, maybe you're in your own car, and maybe there's a murderer out, and you have to drive away from the murderer or something.
Yeah, how do we kick that up a notch though?
An actual car in a cliff, and you have to actually drive off a cliff.
Okay, I got it. We get some chloroform. Just hear me out.
Wow.
Hear me out. Where they wake up, they don't know what the fuck is going on, where they're at. So we have them tied and bound, and there's a little knife there.
This is a little real BDSM for you there, pal.
Hey, it's adult.
See, I don't want to know about your fantasies.
You don't about a ride. Tie him up and we tickle him with the feathers.
He's like, so then this girl comes out and she starts whipping you, and she's telling you like that, daddy? I'm like, oh, you.
And there's a leather chair.
The age limit is 17.
So I want to play with ride-wise is changing the angle. Every time you go on a roller coaster, there's the same thing. Yes. You're always sitting up. I think it'd be awesome if you're laying down.
You're a dead body.
Yeah, so you're the dead body.
You're a dead body in a morgue.
You're getting to a ride.
And where you go after you die.
Oh my god!
That's one of the rides.
That's great.
It's the whole process. You lay down on a gurney almost. You're strapped in, which we'll say is just for safety purposes, but really it's hilarious. And it literally, you have no control. And it's literally it's moving you down the line. And then it ends with you in the cold box in the morgue.
And you see the dirt fucking finally.
Not even the dirt.
I
think you're buried alive.
You think it starts in the room?
I think it starts in the morgue. You've just died. And you're looking up at somebody telling you how you died.
That's crazy.
And it's kind of like Indiana Jones, where there's 3 different temples of doom or whatever that you go in. And so you're standing up and you're looking at the person telling you how you died. Ooh! And then once you figure out how you died, you're then reliving how you were murdered.
You have to relive your murder.
So you start in the morgue and then you go through your death. Clearly, I've watched way too many episodes of Criminal Minds. I went down this,
Criminal Minds,
I
yeah.
went through this like 6. My like fascination with serial killers is so real. Then, to piggyback,
Yeah.
if after you go through the ride where you relive your death, there is because you were saying how you like more historical or like older. If we're going through, if there is either a ride or an immersive experience where you are learning about the greatest serial killers of all time,
Serial killer section.
yeah.
Oh my god, it's educational and scary as shit.
Yes.
That's awesome. By the way, here we go. Segue into food. Boom! Body part food. Done, done, and done.
Yes.
You sell literally a section that's like, oh, here, you can get the arm, which is really like a turkey leg, but we just kind of cut it. There are chefs out there that can do anything.
Side note, I hate when you're at a Renaissance fair because I hate things like that. People are in costumes. I hate the whole thing. But people are like walking around with like turkey legs. Like, that's how it should be.
That's how it should be.
But like
dangling arm.
marinara sauce.
Yeah, everything's covered in ketchup and marinara sauce.
We'll have like chicken fingers, but they're actual fingers.
People love a sauce. People love a condiment.
But that would be fun, and the food could be just really tasty, higher, especially if we keep it on a
What if
smaller
they have
scale.
like
You have like a restaurant,
a Michelin star chef.
Honestly, with this way it is, especially if it's out here. Let's assume it's out here in like California, because I think there's a lot of people touristy wise. Yeah, it could actually do really well. There would at least be 10 years of a solid gathering, and then people would be totally burnt down on it. But for 10 years, I think we'd do really well.
I think you're shitting us.
No.
He's like, you're gonna last for 10 years, and then sorry guys.
All right, Andrew, you're out of this business plan.
That's the risk with theme parks and amusement parks that are so tailored to this. But that's why we have to keep it fresh. We got to keep it going.
But I do want the outside of the amusement park to look like it's abandoned.
Yes,
so then
I almost want it to look like
like
an abandoned warehouse or an abandoned construction site or something where it's like you pull up. You're like, I don't know what this is. Every haunted house. So in Kansas City, they have tons. That's where I'm from Kansas City. If I haven't made that very clear in every episode,
I heard that by the way in Shannon's episode. You were dogging her.
You were shitting on her.
I tried to think of something where I could like get you back because she's my friend, but then I don't know the Midwest. So
Shannon was great.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry.
Nor does he care about
it was like Missouri.
Hey,
okay.
in fact, if my opinion, this amusement park would have a section called St. Louis, and it would be the worst, scariest hellhole on earth. Anyway, so
sponsored by St.
Now I feel bad for Shannon because I set her up. I'm sorry, Shannon. I love you.
Shannon was great. It's not her fault that she was born there. You can't choose things. But it's one of those
just like
things.
you can't choose where you were born. Which I
was
don't
not
even
born
remember.
in Kansas City. I was born in Indiana, which is why I don't talk about it because there's
They're
nothing to talk about.
They're only good for the barbecue.
I want to go back to the food at this place.
So the food should be like, I don't want to say themed, but it should also just be really good,
related. It's
carryable stuff. Lots of sauces and.
So here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing fingers.
Lots of fingers.
But
finger foods.
It's actually, if we're getting a Michelin star chef it's like brie cheese covered in puff pastry, so it looks like a finger. But then, like, you bite it, and there's like raspberry jam that just like oozes out of it.
I love it. I love it.
Like,
and it's a whole thing, and you just pull
it's
them out.
5 of them because you have 5. Most people have 5.
You sell
fingers.
it in 5s.
Yeah,
and then we have
That's cool.
mushroom that look like eyes, like fried mushrooms.
Yeah.
And they pop like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my! And honestly, what's also cool is we could have like the baked goods if you want sweets and desserts. I've seen some amazing thing on some of these cooking shows that these people create. In fact, I'm pretty sure there was a whole cooking show about horror stuff. That would be awesome.
My friend, a good friend of mine, Jessica Scott. She actually is on one of those shows. She has her credits.
Really?
And she was on the Halloween themed episode, and she made like this awesome like thing that explodes. It was so gnarly looking, so scary and grotesque, but she said apparently tasted so good. But yeah, shout out to Jessica Scott. It's for you.
Heard. And then cocktails. I mean, you gotta have a classic Negroni because it's gonna be red with all that Campari, so the color of blood and just like.
Oh my God, we have ice cubes that look like eyeballs.
Ice cubes.
I'll allow it only for purposes of this conversation.
And then for a positive note, merchandising wise, because people love things like I face my fears and like my
oh my gosh,
after you go through your greatest fear, then there's a whole room where you get it. You don't get it, you buy it.
Well, but I think
I was like,
come on.
But no. I think there are two things here. I think that part of your ticket for the people who do the really high end VIP experience, you give them a free T-shirt, but the T-shirt is that standard. I went through the worst possible fear-inducing situation, and all I got was this motherfucking T-shirt. Something like
all of that on one shirt.
All that on one shirt.
All that
verbiage on the back, just
shirt.
the logo. Which, by the way, what do we call this place?
Not bury the hatchet.
Can the shirt really quickly just say "Fear is a construct" within the logo?
Sure.
Because if it's in LA, because I feel like if it's in LA, that shirt will fucking play like yeah.
Super pretentious. I love it, but that's fine. So because I know our kickoff was bury the hatchet, which is great. I think bury the hatchet could literally be a name of a ride or a room or something we do.
Bury the hatchet is the serial killer.
It's the
serial killer. Right?
Bury the hatchet.
Oh, bury the hatchet. Wow. Well,
it just makes sense.
But
okay,
anyway,
the name.
So what do we call this place? We can't call it Horror Town, although Horror Town is great.
Fear.
It sounds like the wrong type of horror.
Something Fearville?
Fearville.
Fearville goes west.
Fear.com.
So,
okay, RC, you're killing me.
I want something placed on the idea of your fears, the warehouse feel, the movie set.
The whole place is just called Mindfuck. How about it's inviting yet scary.
Face your
Horror-apocalypse. Or we just give it a really we just call it the warehouse or something, or we call it the big house, or something.
Scare house warehouse.
No, that's too kitschy.
The district. No, that's
District 9.
District 9.
That's about sci-fi.
Broken. The building.
Skid Row.
Home.
Home.
Home's for that one. So
Home looks like
fear.
Fear House.
Fear House.
Fear House.
Fear House.
Cool.
Yeah.
But because it's a park. So
Fear Place.
Fear Drive. No. Damn it. Anyway, so
how about just scary?
Scary place. Do not. Maybe it's just called Do Not Enter.
Shit's scary.
Oh, I like that.
And it's just a regular. It's a condemned looking building that just says Do Not
enter
on the front.
Yeah. Or
and you just put the yellow tape up because we don't have to do. We can do minimal work on the outside.
Caution.
Caution.
No, I
Police
like.
line,
I like Do Not Enter.
I think Do Not Enter is great.
That's good.
And I really love the idea of every 6 months you change the entrance for Do Not Enter.
It always changes.
Okay,
I love it.
I think I'm set on Do Not Enter.
I love Do Not Enter. I think that's awesome.
I love Do Not
So can we? So is it safe to assume? So are we allowing the actors to touch the guest, or is it only in specific parts?
I'm not fucking with a place that you can't. I'm really feeling like I want hands out of trash cans. So
you want it to be? You want it to be as soon as you enter, it is you're immediately involved. And it's all immersive. So meaning it's like the show
from the
happens
get-go,
as soon as you have a ticket and you walk through.
That's what's going to sell. That's
threshold.
what's going to make it different.
So security's got to be super high, but we could dress the security guards up as monsters and whatever.
Yeah.
And then they could, so they don't kill the vibe. But there's so many things.
Or they look like those historical henchmen, like they're just wearing the oversized suits and just standing there like that. But with the touching thing, I don't think it needs to be like Six Flags Horror Night where people are jumping out and I think it's scarier if you're walking by and out of the bushes somebody just goes hey and then pulls their hand back and you're just holy
we
shit.
definitely need to hire have little kids little just kind of hey help me.
Actually, there's a way around that.
So now you want children.
You can
it
hire
is adults
as
only.
a prop.
I believe labor laws allow you to hire 16 and up out here, which part-time work during the day. Probably not a bad idea. You just have to make their parents obviously aware and sign off on it. But actually hiring smaller people to play children, which in LA I've met a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm 25.
Sign me up.
You look 12. That would be creepy because children are creepy.
Creepy.
They are. If you have them all singing a song in unison, oh my god.
Dude, I was on vacation with my freaking niece 4 months ago, and I woke up and in the middle of the night, I'm going to the bathroom and she's just in the hallway.
No.
I've never been more scared in my life. She's half asleep in the hallway,
you just pee yourself. So
I was like, oh my god.
You know what? I sometimes, because I can't see in the dark at night, so I'll go to the bathroom and my girlfriend will fall asleep on the couch a lot, and it's just dark and it's just the TV lighting her up, and I can't tell if she's up or not. So I'll stand there and wait for my eyes to adjust, and sometimes I'll realize she's up and she's just staring at me, and we're
You're both doing the same thing.
You're staring at each other, and she's like, "What are you doing, looking at me?" And I'm like, "Sorry, I couldn't tell if your eyes were open," because I'll start to come closer, because I don't want to make any noise, and I'll just come closer, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm up. What do you want, creep?" I'm like, "I'm sorry.
So you want a job at the amusement park because you're a
You're hired.
You're telling me I can get paid to do this? Sign me up. I'll do that all day long.
I'm set on what we've created thus far.
Okay.
Are you set?
I'm feeling good.
Should we do like a hands in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I guess so. Yeah.
Just one video.
Guys,
Most human content.
I love touching all of you.
Do you want to talk about?
So
This has been a great episode. I feel really good about this because it's not been done before, in my opinion. In our opinions, I think that there's a lot to this. We should wrap it up and submit it to someone and
like
give us funding for this.
This actually could work.
This is
Good
like
work.
real.
Yeah.
And I like how we really went down a rabbit hole of like the food.
Yeah. Those
Guys,
chicken,
it's
I want to
important.
see those chicken fingers.
hey, if I'm going to spend $12 for something that's probably $3
Fuck
in
that,
life,
15, 30 bucks.
if you have $30 for 5 fingers, I want them to be good, and I want there to be some thought behind it because I don't want just the general shit. I know it's cheaper to
This
do it
won't
that
be
way,
that.
but you're paying for a full
We're
experience.
gonna-
And if I get my brie mozzarella sticks, you guys can have your turkey.
Thank you, Saro.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's tell the audience where they can find you. If you'd like. Want to plug in?
Oh, sure. Instagram, Saro the Emotions. And yeah, that's it.
Well, thanks, Saro. Hey,
you
it's
so
been
much
great,
for
man.
having me.
Thanks for coming on. Today.
Sorrow, not sorrow.
Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry.
Sorry for RC.
Sorrow for me. Awesome. Well, this has been another great episode of the Writers Block Party Podcast. You can check us out at writersblockparty.com. PRTY. PRTY.
Don't forget Sunday Scaries.
Vegan as fuck now. Have a good one.